All right, let's take a look at your shot put here. Okay. So, a few things. Obviously, you have a different comfort level for shot put than you do for discus. Discus, you seem more comfortable, more fluid. Shot put, obviously, with the weight against your neck, and I'm talking about all throwers when they first start doing rotational shot. It's a little bit different from discus, even though the lower half of the body essentially is exactly the same. The upper half is a little more compact, and it's a different flow to the throw. So let's take a look at the entry out of the back. Looking at a side view, it's not going to not be as apparent seeing if you get out around that left, as I mentioned in the discus video. But let's just take a look at this. Oops, sorry. Here we go. So one thing right away that I'm noticing is this back leg kicking up. We want to try to not kick that up and then kick the knee through. You do a fairly good job of sweeping the right leg around in discus. Let's get out around that left in your shot put too and bring this right foot, can't quite get there, around to the left more and then into the center of the circle, all right? Like right now, it looks like you're in such a rush to get to the center of the circle that your body's falling into the center and then you're just going to kick this foot through. So we want to try to avoid doing that. Let's be patient out around that left, and that's going to be my lesson for you this week is being really focused on way more patience. If you watch Ryan Crouser, I'm sure you know who that is. Ryan Crouser is super patient, almost slow to the point of getting out around that left, but then when he decides to sprint through the center, it's a lot of speed and power. So you see what kicking that leg does at the back. It causes this foot to sweep through, and then you're having to come down on top of it like this, which creates a very unnatural motion. It's very herky-jerky. It's kick and sweep and down. It's not really as efficient a movement as sweeping that right foot wide and then driving through the center. So what happens then, okay, so let's get to this position here. So now you're at 3 o'clock with this right foot, which isn't bad. That's where we want to be. The knees, as I mentioned in the discus video, are a little bit further apart than I'd like, and I'd like to see this heel higher. I want to see it come over the top, and it's very hard to do that when your other foot has kicked through. So the reason for that is because we want this foot to essentially, this heel and ankle, to come over the top and then really block hard into the board. Okay? So we're not quite getting that now, but we'll work on that later. So, oops, I'm not minding the upper body position. It's okay. I'd like to see this foot already turned a little bit more now towards, I guess it would be about 8 o'clock. And this foot here is now far too close to the other foot, okay? We want to try to, sorry, I'll get rid of those. We want to try to get that foot hard and into the board so that we can actually rotate off this right and drive through it, okay? But you can see what happens here is that you actually end up pulling that front foot in underneath you. So here it's not bad, it's not bad, it's not bad, and then right at the last second you pull it underneath you, and what that causes is your body weight actually to pull away from the throw, which takes away all the power from the shot, okay? And you're also not getting any lift because you can see how your body is straight up and down. We want to be able to get this foot into the board with a body lean now of about here so that we can get a little bit of height on the throw, okay? But you see how the shot has not even left your hand and the head is already turning away from the throw, which means you're losing power from the right shoulder and from the right side completely. Okay, so the shot put's not quite as refined. Your discus isn't bad. We got a couple things to work on there. But with this shot, let's work on entry out of the back, being way more patient out around this left, then getting to the center of the circle. Okay, number one. And number two, let's not sweep and kick, let's not kick this foot through, okay? Not really liking that kicking or that sweep kick motion, okay? Let's really get on top of that toe. But now when you get to this point, I want you to take this foot and I want you to drive it hard into that board, like really slam it down so it gives you something to push off of with this right foot as it comes around, okay? And then we see we're pushing away from the throw almost. You notice how much room you have here? You're losing half a meter, probably about 1.5 feet to, 2 feet of distance because you're already pushing away from the throw. So let's work on that, but let's work on that patient out around the left.